West Coast Swing Online, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky during the lockdown to the coronavirus. If you guys are here on YouTube, thank you so much. Facebook, what's up, gang? Share this with your friends. We are going to show you the pattern in its most advanced form, and then we're going to break it down piece by piece. The way that we like to do things, and this is kind of my favorite way to look at a pattern, is what is the base pattern, how do we build on it? But let's show you the pattern to start with all of its bells and whistles, and then we'll show you how we get there piece by piece. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10. In a perfectly anchored position. That is your advanced West Coast swing pattern. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again soon. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. By the way, since we're here to half entertain you, do you like my t-shirt? I've worn this in a lot of the videos. You can get this if you're watching us on YouTube. In the description below, we have a store that Emily has curated some awesome, cool t-shirts. What was the t-shirt that we just invented?
Get connected or got connection? Question mark.
Boom. So we got some cool new t-shirts, West Coast swing and other dance related. But let's talk about this. So here it is again. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10. So what's going on with this? First things first, we go from this side, and we'll do it both ways. But basically, the first pattern is an inside turn. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So we do that. That is the key first. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now we're leading this with the leader's right to follower's left hand. So leaders, let me break down your footwork. Followers, it's standard inside turn, right? Leaders, what's going to happen is I'm going to actually, let me set you right there so you're a little bit off camera, right? So we have 1, 2. Leaders are going to go 1, 2. We're stepping down line. Now the easiest way as she does this turn, I'm going to leave Miss Megan out of it, is 3 and 4 landing on my left foot, right? So if we do that again, leaders part, we're going to kind of move away for 1. I call this a fastball turn, like I'm throwing a ball with my right hand, but footwork-wise, 1. On 2, I want to step this foot across the path of the other foot for 2, and then I'm going to pivot on my left foot for 3 and 4, landing on my left foot. That's the goal, right? If you need to move like weight in and out of your feet, you can still triple. 1, 2 is the right foot, and I can triple on this for 3 and 4, and then we would anchor 5 and 6. That's the first iteration of the pattern. So if we add Miss Megan to this, cool. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2. Then as I'm taking this over, this is going to go over my head for 3 and 4. And then typically, first version of this, we're just going to anchor 5 and 6. If we did it from the other way, we'd have 1, 2. This hand comes up and over, lots of room for 3 and 4, anchor 5 and 6. Now, pathwise to this hand, as I take this over Megan's head, I'm going to do this. We're going to do it both ways. This way, we'll cram you back. 1, 2, as we come over, 3, and I'm going to let this hand come down to her back for 4, and then we're going to anchor 5 and 6. So that is the first iteration, because before I can get to the most advanced version of a pattern, I have to be able to build to it. Cool? So 2 more times with our footwork. 1, 2, that's the first checkpoint. So I'm also making sure to prep Miss Megan on 2, because the priority is leading the follower. So she's staying prepped, connected to this. We go 3 and 4. Now leaders, I can use this hand to land her on count 4, and then we're going to anchor 5 and 6. What is going through your brain during that pattern as a follower? Is there anything in specific because it's a little weird?
Yeah, so I'm paying attention. After we do this 1, 2, we go 3, and I'm just following this turn, but as soon as I know that this is going onto my back, I'm either going to lift my arm straight up, or I'm going to make sure that it goes really close to the leader's arm.
Ooh, I like that tip, because I never knew. I just knew I didn't get hit. I didn't know why. I thought it was by accident. 1, 2, 3, and she takes that arm up 4, and then we'd anchor 5 and 6. Any questions this far? Good, no thanks. We're on a 20-second delay, so we have to wait for the questions to come in. So, second part of this is a rock and go. So let's quickly define a rock and go. Let's go to rock and go from this side. If we use the sugar push to define a rock and go, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Normally we would anchor step, but on a rock and go, we're going to rock and go. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then Megan's gonna dance a rock and go. So my lead is gonna have to do something to rock her back and take her forward, yes? So if Megan did a sugar push with a rock and go, maybe out in front of me, and I did a regular sugar push, I want you to notice something. We have a 1, 2, 3, and 4, rock and go. So if I did a normal anchor step, I'd be back on my left foot. She has done a rock and go, putting her forward on her left foot. If I did an inside turn from here, a 1, 2, I would be there. We would both do the inside turn, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So what we're going to add to this inside, I call it a fastball inside turn because it's like a fastball, right? We're going to lead a rock and go at the end of it. That starts us in the middle of the camera, and then we're going to be off to the edge.
Okay.
Work with me, kid. I've done this a lot. We have 1, 2, right? We go 3 and 4. So Megan's on her left foot, I'm on my right. Now we're going to lead a rock and go. Rock and go. And I've led her prepped into an inside turn, and an anchor step. If I did that one more time this side, we have 1, 2, checkpoint, 3 and 4. She's on her left foot, I'm on my right. We go rock and go, inside turn, anchor step. Let's do one more time this side, and we'll have Miss Megan talk about what she feels and the things she has to do to follow the rock and go. We have a 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. So what are you doing at the end of the inside turn? Because you're thinking it's just an inside turn, and what tells you it's a rock and go?
I'm getting a little extra, I want to say lead from the leader, but it's not exactly a lead. It's just a little extra oomph that we are going to go a little further on this step, which is going to tell me that we're going to come back. I'm also really just staying connected to that hand that is on my back. Hence my t-shirt that is going to be, I'm going to have it soon. It's going to say, get connected.
Get connected. It's in the store now?
It's in the store.
It's Get Connected. So
I just haven't received it
We
yet.
just haven't received it. So you can, if you order it today, you might be able to beat Megan. So what she's thinking at the end of this, boom, boom, boom. Right here, she's thinking anchor step. She's already connected in this. Two things. She's given me good connection, but her left side is back. I'm sorry, her right side is back because her right foot's there, right? So if I just chill this out, anchor step, she's connected to this hand. If I, to Megan's point, give a little oomph, anchor step, right? I've kind of loaded this in, anchor step. Now, while that's going on, anchor step or rock and go. If we do it from the other side, just the rock and go part, we have triple step. I'm getting this hand ready to lead the inside turn, anchor step. So the whole thing from both sides, and then we'll do, there's another part of this to finish. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. We got to do it on the other side. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Any questions so far, kids? We have one more element to this advanced pattern, which is a runaround or change of the slots after the rock and go. So the whole thing looks like this. We'll break it down. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. I go to the other side. So how does that happen? Let's go backwards and break it down using a basic inside turn. So if I do this in its most basic sense, 1, 2, we prep the turn, we go 3 and 4, 3 and 4. Now 2 things have happened. Number 1, I've picked up her back. I'm sliding her off the slot so we can run around on the anchor. If I do this coming to you, 1, 2, 3 and 4, you can see I'm starting to take Megan off the slot, which starts to initiate the rotation. Now, what's our job here on the 5 and 6? We anchor. Where do we anchor? Away. As I rotate around, away changes. So, can you break down the follower's footwork? I think the concept's more important, but if you break down the follower's footwork during the inside turn to the runaround.
Mm-hmm. So followers, we have 1, 2, 3, and on count 4, normally we would step straight back. They're going to take us off the track a little bit. And then from here, we are just going to anchor step with our foot behind our right foot, but they're going to take us around. So it's going to be in a slight circle for anchor step.
Bingo. So from the leader's perspective, this is a little bit trickier actually. We've danced 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm trading her to this side. Have you ever heard me talk about a basic position? My window is over her right shoulder, so I'm kind of shifting or shaping with my body to the left with my head. Now I'm going to do side, cross, back, side, cross, and back. Cool? So we do this whole time, and then we're going to smack it on the end of the other pattern. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I go side, cross, back, and I release. Once I do the side cross, I can release so we can both step back to create the connection away. If we do this again this way, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice I said we're in our window, so we're both in our window. I'm actually shaping a little to the left, triple step. And Megan makes it really easy by doing what?
Get connected.
Get connected. This t-shirt's gonna be a thing.
It is.
So Megan's connected to this. Because she's connected to that, right? She's there, it doesn't matter where I go, she stays connected to that.
I like to connect.
Bingo. So that's your job. Move.
It is. It is my job as a follower.
Stay connected and move. So if we add the whole thing together, we have an inside turn, but we make it a fastball inside turn. 3 and 4. We lead a rock and go. Rock and go. We lead an inside turn, taking Megan off the slot so we can run to the other side. Let's try it from this side. If we don't have any questions, we're done with work early tonight. But if you have questions, we'll stick around and answer them. It doesn't even have to be related to this video. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rock and go. Inside turn to the other side. Sugar push with a hitch right there, and off we go. So that is a fastball inside turn with a rock and go to an inside turn to a change during the anchor. Do it this way. The question is, can we do it this way?
I hope so.
We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 to the other side.
Whee!
Bingo, let's do it this way so your butt gets to be the camera. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 to the other side. That's actually really good. What's that? Yeah, so there you go. So that's very relevant because as always, we have to respect the slot. And I'll do it sideways and I'll try to respect this slot. But obviously on the 1, 2, I have to be out of the slot like I would on any kind of inside turn. Megan stays in the slot, right? Boom, boom. I'm out of the slot. So even though I have my different footwork, I've left the slot alone for her. Triple step, right? So now as the leader, in a perfect world, I would anchor right here and I'd be in the slot, right? But instead, I need to lead the rock and go. Rock and go. I'm still a little bit in her way. I can back away, boom. And as I back away, I'm helping lead her around the corner. We're both really now in the middle of the slot. This is the slot right where my left foot is, right through here. Now as I look to my left, Megan stays stuck to this hand. Boom, 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 and we're back in the slot the other way.
Followers, I do want to clarify one thing. When you're connecting to this hand, it is not with your upper back or your lower back. It is with your whole spine or your core. Okay, so make sure that as a whole you're connecting back, it's not just one part.
And one of the drills we covered, I don't remember, we've done so many videos. What's the total videos we've done? I think it's 70, almost 80 videos, 80 live videos, so they're running together in my brain. But we did if Megan is a wall, one of our favorite anchor step drills is to be about a foot off that wall, and we're gonna anchor step, and we're gonna try to find that wall.
You did that to me, just saying.
With good posture, right? So my butt might hit the wall first, right?
Or
but my shoulders will line up to that, right? I don't want to go completely this way, and I don't want to go completely that way. So there you go. Any other questions? There's your advanced, are you sure? You got 20 seconds for the delay. If you're still watching this, you should go to westcoastswingonline.com and enter your email address on the front page, and we'll send you all sorts of cool stuff. What else do we have? What else is going on?
The subscribe button.
If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you should do that too, because we got nothing else to do.
If they have any questions, they can email us and we'll answer them.
If you have any questions, you can pop them in the description below.
Or you can email us.
Better email us, brian@westcoastswingonline.com, Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at westcoastswingonline.com, or just go to West Coast Swing Online, scroll to the bottom, hit the what's the button? Contact Us button, and click on that, and you can go through and send an email as a nice little cool picture of my mom on the phone, because she answers our phone calls.
And tomorrow is 3 o'clock.
Tomorrow's 3 o'clock. What's tomorrow's video?
Rock and Goes.
Oh, finally. So, you guys are still watching live. The live schedule has finally caught up to us, and I have some news about the lockdown here in Kentucky that just got released today. Yeah, a possibility of us going back to work this month, or in May. So, we are going to be live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. We're going to be releasing videos. They're going to be on westcoastswingonline.com/live, a regular live schedule. Those videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays will be at 3 o'clock. So this is a video that kind of got lost in the whole COVID-19 shuffle. That's a good line dance, the COVID-19 shuffle, a 19-step line dance. Anyways, so the ultimate guide to rock and goes. We've covered the rock and go a lot. We have a video specifically on the rock and go, covering it in every iteration. So you can catch that at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. Now there's questions. Bring me the table and chair.
What
Do we
kind
really
of
have
questions?
We have two.
Two.
Yes. So on the rock and go, how do you get to her back? How to make her back with the left hand? How do you make her step back? How do you make her step back?
How do I make her step back on the rock and go? Good question. So, question is, how do I make her step back on a rock and go? If I use something, I'll use a whip, because that's the easiest pattern, because I already have my hand on her back. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, right? So if Megan gives me no connection here, right, there is very little I can do to make this rock and go happen outside of using my feet to pick her up. So I think the first key as a leader on whether or not you should lead this is very much whether the follower connects to the hand that you want to lead the rock and go with, right? So if I did it in a sugar push a long time ago, there's a video on YouTube of us doing the rock and go from a sugar push. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If Megan's connected in this hand, as I send that back, she'll follow it, right? If I send it back a lot, she'll follow it a lot. And even the further I'm going, I'm not giving it so far she can't be connected at all, but as I'm monitoring the connection in this hand, so the follower has to maintain connection. And that way she'll follow when I lead the rock and go, or she'll follow if I just let it drift back into an anchor. So I think the first key is the leader, and the way we like to teach these patterns is leveled. So the first level of this pattern was just an inside turn, then it was the fastball inside turn. If the follower isn't connected at that point, it's almost impossible to get them to follow the rock and go. So if I were trying to drill the follower to do a rock and go, the first place I would do it in, and we cover this in our video tomorrow, is from closed position, because here I have two hands, right? I have this hand, and I can use both hands to try to get her to follow it. But I think the first key is that they're connected. Next question.
How do you do the fastball inside turn without hitting your partner?
How do I do the fastball
From a
inside
follower?
turn?
From the leader's perspective.
From the leader's perspective, how do I do the fastball inside turn without hitting my partner? So I first have to master understanding her rotation. Zip, boom, and I gotta know where she's turning. 1, 2, she's prepped, and I know right here, zip, she's turning, right? I have to have a sense of that. So that's why we broke this down with the basic inside turn first. So I might even lead an inside turn to kind of feel her rotation and make sure it's gonna work. Then the next one, 1, 2, she's prepped, right? If this goes all wrong, that alone should lead the turn, right? Because I've prepped. 1, 2, that alone should lead the turn, right? She's been given the prep. Once you release this, she's turning. So then how do I not hit her? 1, 2, at this point, it's really my head I'm worried about. It's my head I'm worried about, my head. At this point, as long as I don't take this towards her and I drop it down, I can thread this and pick up her back. If I do it from the other side, 1, 2, I shouldn't be able to hit her, because if this hand is going this way, we're in trouble, right? I'm releasing the turn this way, but I'm taking it up, right? She's heading into the turn. It's my head I'm worried about. Back to her, and off we go. And a good way to practice these hand pass are what we call baby steps. So we can just do this in baby steps staying connected, baby steps. Megan's just following the baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Like there is quite a bit of the pattern right there. I love that baby step drill.
Me too.
It can be done in all sorts of ways.
One more clarification on rock and goes. Can you do it with only the right hand holding closed?
Could I do the rock and go only with the right hand enclosed? Absolutely. So if I led a whip, could I do the rock and go with just my right hand? Absolutely. Right? Very common. I could lead the rock and go with just my right hand. In fact, I think it's the most effective hand. Right? So if Megan stays stuck to that, it's the, I call it the opening door. If I let a whip, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, right? On the anchor step, I would let this breathe back, but the door would be closed. I wouldn't be opening it this way or this way, if you want to call that like open and close, however you want to think about that. So on the anchor step, I would just leave it flat. She would anchor back up against it. If I'm leading the rock and go, Megan said this earlier, she's feeling a little oomph to that hand, right? And people can do this. The footwork doesn't matter so much as the hand. It's going this way for the rock and go. So we did it this way so you could see this hand a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Normal anchor step, I just let it stay there. Rock and go, I rock, and it doesn't matter what happens with my right foot. It's the rock and go into the turn. It's a great question. We cover that in the Ultimate Guide to Rock and Goes tomorrow, free at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Any other questions? We're good to go. Thanks, Miss Megan. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so.
Good deal. So 3 o'clock tomorrow, the Ultimate Guide to Rock and Goes. We'll cover all this stuff. Then, what are we on, a Friday? I have no idea what Friday is. Our Q&A video. Any questions you have coming in? What else is Friday? East Coast Swing versus West Coast Swing. So if you have a ballroom dance friend who has yet to experience West Coast Swing or knows a little bit of it and is a little bit confused, we're going to talk about East Coast Swing versus West Coast Swing. What's different? What's the same? How are they related? How are they not related? And there we go. Cool beans. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow.